What's up, everybody? Welcome to today's video. It's time. Basically, it's time. The Series X time. It's time to go ahead and modify and make this custom Series X. We've already done the PS5, made the custom Zero Edition PS5. Got one more thing to add to that, and I'll be done. But this focus is going to be on redoing the entire Series X. We're going to replace with all these parts right here. These parts actually go on the console, so we're not going to mess with these. Probably this video. It's going to be all about the controller, breaking this one down and installing that. We're going to swap everything over and make this into the custom controller, replacing everything. Now, obviously, I've never, just like I did the PS5 controller, I've never broken it down. So this will be my first time doing it. So, like anything, pretty sure that the first time is going to be a little slow. But then after that, I'll be able to, just like the PS5 controller, we built them so many times now that I can do it relatively quickly. Pretty darn quick. So it's going to be exciting. Go ahead and learn this controller, learn the ins and outs of this. Take this one apart. And was going to make the custom controller. Then obviously we're going to work on that awesome custom Series X back there. Sorry about the focus. But okay, let's go and take everything out, place everything in front of us so you can see what we're working with today. And what we're going to be transforming this thing into. You'll get a rough idea. Okay, we got everything set up. Got a bunch of extra screws. Always want to have extra screws just in case you lose screws, drop them, whatever, as you're putting this together. We have right here color changing for the Xbox home button right here. So I have various different colors. I haven't decided what color I'm going to go yet, but again, might go one color with this one. I might get a second controller. Again, it's just me, but I mean, I got a bunch of extras. If not, I'll just get and friends that have Xboxes, I'll just get whatever color they want. We have the awesome crimson red shell, as well as the end plates. Yeah, these will be the plates that go like right here, the grips or whatever, and a complete clear but buttons, everything, trigger buttons, everything clear Xbox shell, transparent shell, just like you saw me do on the PS5 DualShock 5 controller. Obviously, I only have one controller, guys. So maybe in the future, maybe I'll use that clear one to build a clear one, but make it like different color buttons. And of course, we have our favorite. We gotta make this thing pop. We gotta make this thing glow. So we have the LED board along with more clear buttons. That's kind of why I bought the clear kit, because I want to, kind of like we did on the PS5 controller right there, I want to clear everything out. If I'm going to clear it, I want to clear all the buttons, the center, all that stuff. So we're going to use some of the clear buttons, basically just for the top right here, and everything else we're going to use LEDs for. So that's everything we're working with. So we're going to go ahead and start taking this thing apart and putting this thing back together, kind of like you saw the other video. There's going to be a video on how to break down the Series X. Now, again, every Xbox controller is different. It's not the Xbox One. It's not the Xbox. It's not the 360. This is the Xbox Series X or S controller. So, the same controller. Obviously, the S is going to be the white one, but it looks the same. No indentation. This is the Series X. Okay, so obviously, first things first, I don't need all these extra screws and all that, but, if I do lose something, it's nice enough to have extras. That's going to come into play later. Obviously, that's going to come into play later right now, along with the analog buttons. We don't need that right now. So we're going to have to start breaking it, and then this is probably going to be pain in the ass, just like it was for the PS5 home button. It's going to be all the way at the end. So we're going to work on taking this thing apart. We'll get our tools. We'll use the tools that come with the light kit. The LED light kit. And if I can get this tool out, geez. Alright, pretty much the same tools that you use for the PS5. And we're going to work on taking this thing apart step by step. And I'll walk you guys through step by step on how to disassemble this thing and break it down to where we need to go. To get to where we need to go ahead and take the batteries out, because we already know that, put the batteries up, that one screw is actually right here in the middle. I know that. I know these side plates pop off as well, and there's a screw here and here. But again, I'm going to walk you through it. Let's go ahead and let's get started. Alright, so you start by popping the sides off. Use your pry tool. Stick it in going from the top. As you see, I already did one side. And stick it in going from the top, kind of like a focus. Kind of like right here. And you're just going to pry it all the way down till you pop it out. Once you pop it out, you got a screw here. Got a screw at the bottom. Same thing on this side. Screw at the bottom. Screw right here. And there's a screw behind here. Now, you could either it's right here in the middle. You could either, if you don't care, obviously this is for warranty. Like the PlayStation doesn't have any warranty stickers. I just peeled it up carefully. Use a blade, razor, and I just peeled it up. Get that shot. There you go. And there's a screw right there. So again, I just peeled it up to keep the warranty sticker, keep it looking good. Get that screw too. So you're gonna get these 4 screws on the outside and back up some. These 4 screws after you pop this side off using the pry tool, and the screw right there. Let's take all those screws out. Okay, so once you get all those screws out, this back piece comes right off. So far, I'm not gonna lie, the Xbox controller is a lot more simpler than the PlayStation. So there you go, that's that piece. Now guess what? Remember the PlayStation controller is bolted down to the top shell. Top shell's gone, that's it, bam. Now it's its own little piece right there. So now we can discard the top shell because we're not using that again. We are gonna use the bottom shell again. We're just gonna put it out the way. There we go, now we're left with the cylinder mechanism. So we just flip it upside down. Bam, voila. And we're right here. Wow, that was that's a lot more simpler than the PS5 DualShock. So now we're gonna go ahead and pull these off. So you place this come right on up. Put that in the graveyard over there. That's how you replace the thumbsticks right there. And right here, because we'll replace the D-pad, you have a locking mechanism. It's like a locking ring. I don't know if it comes up or if it twists out. I think it just pops up. Pretty sure this pries up. Again, trying to do this with one hand is kind of dangerous. But yeah, you're going to pry this. Well, hold on. Let me go ahead and get this part out first before I say pry it, because I'm not going to do this with one hand. But yeah, next part is you're going to take this locking mechanism off right here. And focus. There you go. So far, way easier than the PS5. Alright, just to show you guys, I figured it out. It's actually, look on the bottom, it's clipped right here. See this bottom piece right here? Use your fingernail, just pry it up. Like that, like so. Sorry about being upside down. There you go. Make sure you save all your pieces. Put that to the side. That's how you get that locking piece off. Focus, jeez. There you go, that's how you get the locking piece off. Okay, so carrying on. Now the D-pad comes right on out. There goes the D-pad into the graveyard. So you place the D-pad right there. Now, if you look closely right there, you see that's actually a tab and a tab. And use your pry tool right here. You're going to pry this up right here, pry these two up. If you look on the top, that's this little centerpiece right there. So when you pry those two pieces up, that piece is going to come off. Underneath this piece, this button and this button are joined together. It's like a little bar. So you're going to end up, once you pry this piece off, you're going to pry the bar up to get these two buttons out. So that's how you replace this button, this centerpiece, and that centerpiece with a clear, whatever color you got, guys. And then you're gonna be left with, golly, focus, my God. Then you're gonna be left with the main board, obviously, and this button. Again, pry here, this piece comes out. Pry the bottom piece up, which will take these two buttons out, and you'll be left with that. Let's go ahead and do that. Now, just to show you guys, once you get that those center tabs off, this piece, like I said, the top piece comes off right here. And you're left with the buttons. You can kind of see, like I told you, the buttons are joined right there. Like a little bridge, both buttons. Use your pry tool. Pry from the corner of one of the buttons, kind of like I did, just to pop it out like that. And then it'll easily come off like that. There you go. That's how you place the top buttons. You should be left with, like I said, the trigger buttons, the main board, buttons, etc. Should be left with that. Obviously, we're going to go ahead and be swapping out these buttons with the clear buttons as well. So we're going to go an extra step further because we're changing the light on this one and we're changing these buttons. So let's go ahead and continue on. So now that we got these pieces off. Sorry about that camera. Okay, now, before you go any further, if you're going to change out these top buttons to a different color, like I said, we're going to go clear. It's so much easier than the PlayStation. You can see it right there. There's a screw right there. So you just lift up the buttons, fall back, screw right there, a screw right there. Pretty much gonna unscrew this, and if you look, I'll pick this board up. If you look, kind of hard to see because it's in black. You see how like there's a slot right here. So basically, the button sits on top of, slides on top of the slot, goes like that, kind of like that motion, and then the screw holds it down. That's it. It's not the whole place where I got disassembled the entire button, pulled the motor out, all that. All this, wow, this is crazy. So basically, you use the supply screws, screwdriver. I think it's a T6 or whatever. Unscrew this, take that button out, replace it with whatever. In this case, we're using clear. And we'll go ahead and knock that out right now. That'll take care of the whole clear portion. Obviously, you know, as we're putting this thing back together, we'll make the top button clear. And we do have to make that clear, but again, we'll have to break this board down. That's how you change out the top buttons right there. Now, moving on from that, focus, thank you. Moving on from that, there's a screw right there. There's a screw right there. Take those two screws out. And you have these two plugs right here. Now, you got to take your supplied tweezers, or if you don't have any, little small tweezers. And these things actually push down on the board. They don't slide in, they push down. So use them. Be careful. So you get the camera on it. You're going to pry these two up. And when you pry, there you go, focus. Pry these two up. Those will come out. You got these two screws out. Now, this bottom part of the board will be loose. And we'll have access to this bottom board right here. Obviously, you already know we're going to end up taking that screw out and that screw out as well. There is, if I'm not mistaken, there's another screw here underneath this board right here on both sides. But we'll get there. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. So, again, shows you how to change the buttons out, take the screw out, slide them off, put the new button on, slide it on, put the screws in, screw here, use your tweezers, get these two out. This whole board will be loose. Obviously, you know we're going to end up taking these two screws out. So we'll go ahead and do that as well, and then we'll go ahead and move on. Wow, this is so much more simpler than the PS5 controller. Wow, crazy how simple it is. All right, so now as you can see, we got the buttons replaced. It's simple enough. We got those two screws out. We got those prongs taken out. Now this board lifts up. Now you see it's connected by wires. Don't pull it up. It doesn't come up. It just lifts up just a little bit. Now if you lift this up underneath it, I think this is a speaker. You have the speaker right here. You see where my finger is right there? Sorry about this, how to film it. Take that speaker out. It's going to fall out anyways. It's loose anyways. See? It's going to fall out anyways. Let's put that over in your pile of parts. Lose that. That's for your, get your coax for your, headset or whatever. So now you got a bunch of screws to take out, okay? You got those two screws I told you about right there. Right underneath this board. I'll try to show it to you. It'll be hard to do. But underneath this board, right there by this, you see this white thing right there? Right there in the corner where my finger's tapping at. There's a screw right beside that. Take that screw out. If you lift this board up, you can see a screw right there. As well as there is a screw. Okay, I gotta switch hands here. There's a screw right here in the corner. You can kind of see it right there. Screw right there. So you take those screws out. Like I said, screw right there. These two screws. Screw right there. I think that's all the screws. Oh yeah, there's one more screw. Right here in the middle. Right on my fingers. You see I push this down a little bit? Kind of see it. Right there. Screw right there. Take all those screws out, and finally, this little motherboard piece right here will come out. And we'll have access to the buttons and everything else. So I'm going to take all these screws out. I showed you, remember, you got 3 right here in the V, 1 right here, 1 right here, and then 1 right here. Underneath this board. It goes out, and this part will pop out, and we'll finally have 2 separate pieces. I'm going to do that right fast. Okay, so once you do that, now you got, as you can see, 2 separate pieces. This is where we're going to put the LED board on this one. Now, basically, since we have this apart, you see, now you have access to all the buttons, the 4 buttons, the start button, back button, etc. You can use your tweezers, get your new set of buttons, or whatever buttons you're going to use. In this case, remember we were talking about that button up top? Right here, now you have access to that back button right here. Again, if you just get the LEDs, it's just going to come with these 4 buttons and these 3 buttons in the center. If you actually replace the buttons, it's going to come with all these buttons. So I'm going to replace that with clear along with all these. So essentially, just like you did on the PS controller, you can pull these out, replace them without the clear ones. We're going to go ahead and do that. Get this portion done, as well as replace that little back button because I have it. And then we're going to go to this, and we're going to work on installing the LED board on this one, which is actually going to go on the back, or pretty much it's going to take this off. Comes with a new rubber piece right here. And I know you guys are wondering what about the Xbox button right here, changing the color. This is basically when it comes into play. Right here is where that color changing binder graphics going to go to change the color of the Xbox button, whatever you want. So we're going to go ahead and change out the controllers, change out the button, change out the buttons, everything first. Then I'm going to go ahead and pull this off, and then I'll go ahead and install the new LED board. Show you how to install the LED board, as well as how to wire it to the power supply, and then we'll work on the Xbox home button right quick. So again, all that I'm gonna do, take all these buttons out, place them without my clear buttons, and then like I said, we're gonna work on the putting the LED board on this. Okay, so now if you again, all the buttons are already placed, you see everything's all clear. You can kind of see it up there. Okay, so now taking your new rubber piece. Now again, only if you got LEDs. If you didn't get LEDs, then you can take the original OEM rubber piece. I still have it on the back of this board right here. You can use this one, same difference. But basically, get your logo kit and pick whatever color you're gonna pick. Whatever color you decide. I think we're gonna go with red for sure. Right here is basically a sticky. Now, you can't really see it. It's gonna be hard to see, but each one of these are transparent, but it's got a sticky side, and on that sticky side is a film. Okay, you can't pry the film off with your fingernail or whatever. That's where this comes into play. You're gonna use this sticky side to stick to the film, whatever color you decide to go with. One side's sticky, one side's not. The side that's sticky, obviously, is the side that has the film. Once you peel the film off, you're gonna take your little transparent logo, or should I say sticker, and you're gonna put it on the inside. I'm sorry about that. The camera's off. I'll put it on the inside right here. Okay. So if you're looking at it like this, see how this is open right there? It's on the inside. You want it on the inside, not the back side. This is the back side. Because if you look at it, this is gonna go into the board kind of like that. You want the transparent color, whatever you got on the inside, not the outside. Otherwise, it's not gonna show. All right. So that's how it's pretty self-explanatory. It's not really that difficult. I got 40 some odd different colors. I got every color: green, got red, blue, turquoise. I'm gonna go with red. Again, I'm just gonna do exactly what I told you. Stick it to here. Once I get the seal off, stick it inside here, and you can go ahead and place this inside here. Obviously, this part covers the buttons. This part covers the logo and covers the 3 center buttons. And then we're going to go ahead, we'll pull this off, because obviously we don't need this piece anymore. And we'll go ahead and start working on the LED board. Let's go ahead and do the logo, get that done. Not going to lie, this part's a little tedious, but once you get the film off of there, pretty much stick it onto the circle. See, it kind of look like that. Focus, there you go. And you want to make sure, see how I'm doing this? It doesn't come off. You know what I'm saying? Make sure it's stuck, because we would hate to do all this and have to disassemble this controller just to get back to this piece. But in theory, this thing's big enough to where it's going to be held in here anyways. But still, you want to make sure it is sticking. All right, so we're going to go and throw this back on top of that. That takes care of that. Now we're going to finally start working on the LED board. Let's put this back together up here, though. All right, now time for the LED board. Pull the LED board out. Pretty self-explanatory. It's actually way easier than the PlayStation. Pull off all the tape on the back right here. I'll pull off the tape off the diodes right here. Not yet. All right here, not yet. And basically all you're going to do is you're just going to line this board up. You're going to line the board up with the holes. It's pretty easy. Obviously it's hard for me to do with one hand right here. But it's going to go like that. There you go. You can line it up like that. You have holes. You see everything's lined up like that. That's lined up like that. That's lined up. I would start from the bottom, go bottom up. Don't try to tape it don't try to go, what I mean by that is, when you pull the tape off, don't try to go top down. Go from the bottom and then rotate it up. Bear in mind, you have right here, that's your power supply. So make sure when you're sticking it, see how it's stuck behind there? Pull that out as you're sticking it before you stick this side down. Pretty self-explanatory, it's not really that hard. It's gonna line it up. Like I said, line up all the holes kind of like that. Or so again, I'm doing it one hand, but like that. Line it up like that. All the way down. Let's go ahead and stick this on right quick. And you get it on there, you got something similar to like that. Again, as close as you can get, make sure the holes are, as you can see, the bottom's lined up. Alright, so that's it. That's not that hard. Okay, so now we're going to work on the power supply. Which there's two ways to do it. We're going to do it the easy way, obviously. Kind of got it upside down. We'll flip it right here. You got your B plus and your B minus. Basically, what you're going to end up doing is you're gonna take this prong, take your do my little tweezers right here. Let me find them. What did I do with my tweezers? Jeez, things like disappeared. Oh, they are. Fell on the ground. Okay, so basically you can kind of see it. You got B plus, B negative. You're going to slide this underneath this. This is actually a power supply, both of these. Slide this underneath this. So essentially going to lift up, sorry about that. Essentially going to lift up on this a little bit to slide this underneath. Same thing with this. Okay, I'm not gonna lie, this power supply thing's a pain in the ass. Sufficiently is the worst thing as far as compared to the PlayStation tapping into the power. It's simple. This top one really wasn't too hard. It was this bottom one that was a pain in the ass. I ended up using hopefully I didn't scar the board, a razor, tip of the razor. This I can lift this, the corner of this prong up so I can slide it under. Obviously, I couldn't get all the way under. That should be enough, hopefully. So it gets power. We're going to find out, obviously, as we're putting this thing back together, if it works or not. So now, we're going to go into the process of reassembling this bad boy and putting this bad boy back together, putting the board back in here, etc. So let's go ahead and start to reassemble everything. Okay, so once you do that, you're going to put the board back in and go ahead and put all the screws back in. I think it was, 6 screws? The 3 right here, the 2 right here, and the 1 right here. The 1 right here is going to be a little difficult because obviously you got the power supply going for the board right here. But you can get it, you can manage it. Now, once you got these screws back in, you see now it's all one piece again, okay? Now, obviously, you'll be able to, you can see, hold it up like that, just fine. You see how the buttons are see-through, everything's holding. You got the LEDs that are going to go through the for the joysticks. That's good to go. Now, here's another difficult part. You have this piece right there. You see the tape on the back of it? You're going to have to do this with 2 hands at an angle. But if you look at this board right here, on the bottom of this board, I don't know if I can show it to you guys. I'll try right there. See where my thumb is right there? You see that little square that holds like a leaf? And you see that square hole? That's gonna go around that. So you can use tweezers, however you want to do it. Slide that in there, kind of like that, and you're gonna get it taped. Again, I'm not gonna do this with one hand, but that's how it goes. So you effectively end up with it it's that hole on top of, like I said, that diamond square like that. So take your time, use your tweezers if you have to. Get that portion taped up. Remember, underneath that is the power supply. It was a pain in the ass to get the prongs in. So let's get this piece attached to that, and then we're going to move on. Pretty much self-explanatory. We're going in reverse order. After this point, we're putting everything back together in reverse order. But let's go ahead and get this stuck on. Try to show you guys the best I can. But we got it stuck on. There it is. You can kind of see it right there. There it is right there. Focus, best I can. It's gonna kind of look like that. So now, I'm gonna put this all back together. There we go. Don't forget to put your little speaker thing back in. Don't forget to put it in like that. So you have a jack, and obviously we're gonna attach these 2 wires back. Put these 2 screws back right there. So let's go ahead and do that. Put that back in there. Put these 2 screws back, and then we're gonna work on, remember, the D-pad. We still got the top portion right here, as well as the analogs. But let's go ahead and again put this portion, attach this portion back. Don't forget to put your head jack unit back in underneath here. And it goes right underneath that little square right there. And then put the 2 screws back in, and then plug these 2 back in, of course. Okay, so go ahead and put the 2 screws back in the corner right here. That way it holds this board down and make your life easier. And you're gonna go ahead and again, you're gonna apply the tape to the LEDs around the analogs. Put the new analogs in, you see everything's held together. And you got the analogs in, the buttons are all in. Go ahead and, click them, make sure everything's good. Click the buttons, make sure everything's good. You always test it to make sure the power's good. You gotta take your new D-pad, my new D-pad, this is clear. Put the new D-pad in. Now remember, I didn't really say anything about the, I was installing the buttons, but everything only fits, sorry about that. I was recording it. Everything only fits one way, guys, so don't think that you can force something in there. So you just gotta find the correct way it's supposed to go, and I think this is the correct way for this D-pad right here. The correct way it's supposed to go in there. It appears to be correct, actually. And yeah, that's right. And then I know this thing goes on top of this to lock this down. Excuse me. Go on top of that to lock it down. And then you're going to go ahead and obviously put the top pieces back on. Put the top pieces back on. Those are the 4 screws on the outside plus the one in the middle. Now you can decide what you're going to do. I'm going to go ahead. Again, we have the red skin and we have the black, which we're going to do. And we have the clear. I don't know if this would go good. I don't know if that would go good together. You can see, the good thing about the Xbox is it takes 1 second to swap out the front and the back because they're independent pieces, unlike the PlayStation, which everything's built into it. So I might just run all clear just to show you what it looks like, all clear case, and then run it the way I want to run it, maybe with the black and the clear, and then the red and the black. But okay, let's go ahead and get the rest of this back together then. I want you to put the D-pad back on. That holds the D-pad in place. Remember, the bottom end snaps in right there. The long piece is going to go down, snap in right there. Then you're going to take your new top piece, or your original top piece. You have the hole, self-explanatory. You're going to put this back on the top like that. Snaps in replaced via the sides right here. You see the snaps right there. And then, of course, you put the center piece right here. Back in with the 2 prongs back there. Bam. Put the pieces back together. And at that point, you flip it over. Remember, we got to plug these 2 plugs back in. And then throw the case back on. So we'll go ahead and hook everything up right quick and get to that point. Okay, so whatever shell you're going to rock with, so whatever, just throw it back in the shell. Of course, it's not going to be, it's going to be loose. Now, so you know, don't forget you got the little slits right here for these cables. This cable right here is going to go to this top one right here. Just plug it back in. This one right here is going to go to the bottom one, like right there. Go ahead and plug those 2 back in. All right, then you put your bottom shell on, whatever bottom shell you're going to use. And put your 4 screws back in, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 screws back in. Put your side plates on, and there you go. Now, I'm going to go ahead and say this right now. If your case itself, make sure everything works. You know what we say. The case right here at the top is not sitting flush like this. As this is flush. Say it's lifted up a little bit, or it's hard to put the screws in. You're trying to put these last 5 screws in. It's very difficult. It's because of 1 or 2 things. Either 1, remember these are where the batteries go. These prongs didn't stick through, slit all the way. They probably bent or something, bend them back. Or 2, my problem was the D-pad. You put that metal ring around the D-pad. If that metal ring is not sitting flush, it will cause this to stick up so that this case won't close properly, okay? If you have to work to get these 4 screws down, either this is the metal ring around here is messed up, you just need to reapply it, or these aren't sticking through, and you actually stick through and they're bent back, 1 or 2. But all right, we're going, as you can see, at the set these red. Oh, this thing's looking sick. Look at this. I was going to finish this up right quick. Put the rest of the screws back in. Just want to point that out because I couldn't get the case closed properly, and then I took the shelf apart and realized it had to be this, and of course it was. All right, and here's to find the pocket. The something just go all clear, and here you guys go. Bam. Here's our new custom. This thing can focus. Jeez, there we go. Here's our new custom Xbox Series X, all clear. Controller for our custom system we're making. Now I do have the red end plates right here. If I want to change these right here, the red, I can. I did have them red. Yeah, it looked okay. Maybe at the end of the video I'll show you what they look like with it on red, but I think it looks pretty cool. There's the graveyard parts. You guys can see we completely disassembled this thing. And then I do have a spare, like I told you, a spare clear. So I can actually do a clear, all clear control if I want with the clear front. I'll say that with more clear buttons. Maybe I'll hook up a friend and put a friend's controller together. Just use the spare parts I have right there. There we go. So now let's get to the. Like you see the controller. There you go. And obviously we'll be tackling the Series X itself. Ooh, that's gonna be an interesting one. Yeah, it's all gonna flow together. If you've been paying attention to the Zero system, maybe, just maybe. But okay, so let's go and get the batteries back in here, and we'll show you it do what the PS5 is doing. And I laugh. I made one mistake. You see, you look at the batteries. Oh, that's not supposed to happen. I forgot to take out the metal prongs right here on the side. The conductors right there. Don't forget to do that, guys. Take it off the original controller so that you can put it in your new controller case. That way the batteries will fit. Again, sorry about the thing keeps not focusing. Yeah, take those out. I had these just pried up right here. Slide it back in. So I got to take this bottom part piece off again to put this piece in there. Then the batteries will fit properly. Let me do that right quick. All right, there we go. Now we got the little metal prong swapped out. That battery should fit just fine. Bam, there you go. Now it's not loose. Yeah, don't forget to do that. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so we're gonna put the batteries in. So like properly, doing shit with one hand. There you go. All right, and bam, voila. There we go. We have crimson, red, and black. Ooh. Now we have to go ahead and program it so we can get the other colors, as well as something special going on that you guys saw that we installed with the Xbox button. So let me go ahead and program it. We're going to make it do exactly what that one is doing. Right quick. Oh, that looks freaking crazy. That looks crazy. All right, let's put this case back together and let's go ahead and program this so we can get our color scheme. All right, there we go. All set, all complete. I'm not gonna lie. The Xbox Series X controller is a million times easier to work on and to disassemble than the DualShock 5. I mean, once you get past the little, obviously you void your warranty, doing the sticker right here, but if you do it carefully, there you go. But anywho, the only thing I was a bitch was the power supply. Wiring the power supply to this. Getting underneath the battery terminals, that's a pain in the ass. Like I said, I had to use a razor in order to lift it up just so I can slide it underneath the. Maybe easier if you have two people just for that one portion, but other than that, man, the shell being completely separate from the innards, that's just better designed than the PS5 controller. I'm sorry, it is. But okay, so this to operate the LEDs on this is completely just way better again than the PS5. The PS5, I gotta hold all these buttons. It still gets the job done, still looks cool. But look at this. With the Xbox, I simply hold down the menu button, and boy, it's gonna be ready to rock and roll. I can actually do this on camera. Look at that. I can do this on camera with one hand. Awesome. Oh man, awesome crimson red. Crimson red. This is a crimson red shell. You see it's kind of metallic. It's not the pulse red or whatever. And of course you see the transparent clear, which is awesome. Now so I want to change the colors. Again, I can just press the two menu buttons. Bam, color change. Green. I can actually do it with one hand. Unlike the Sony, I can't do it with one hand. Green. Yeah, purple. Ooh, purple passion. Got your blue. Of course, you got your till. Hard to tell it's till, but that's till. And I got my favorite mode, color changing mode. And of course, you have rapid mode for those of you that like that. I won't do it long because I don't want anybody to pass it out. So we're gonna go back to my favorite mode, color changing mode. And now we have two customized controllers. Again, you guys will see the theme of the Series X coming soon. Bam, right next to our custom PS5 controller. They're going out together. You want to see how bright it is? And there's shells. Let's turn out the lights. There you guys go. We got the Series X popping off. We got the clear DualShock 5 popping off. All clear. Had to mimic each other somewhat. Awesome. Took a while to get this done. We got this done, guys. Again, it's usually the first time when you do something, it's difficult. And as far as figuring everything out, then once you do it one time, hey, it's whatever at that point. So again, you guys want to see how bright it is compared to the LEDs on the TV. The TV flows just nicely. They flow just nicely. It's not actually in unison right now. I didn't plan that. But there we go. So we have both the PS5 DualShock 5 custom controller along with the now Crimson Red Series X controller. Don't worry. Like I said, that's next. We always do the controller first when we mess with the system. That's going to be epic. Just like that. It's going to be epic. All right, guys. So hope you guys follow along. For those of you guys that want to do this particular mod, there's multiple cases that you can use, etc. But again, yeah, we got the job done. Oh, man, this came out great. And so many other things I could use to customize. And like I said, they're in sync. I didn't plan that. But all right, guys. Please click and subscribe. Smash the like button. If you have any questions, post them down below. Again, like I said, honestly, it just took me about 3 hours so to put the controller again, because it was my first time. I'm going slow, taking my time. But the hardest part, again, is connecting the power supply to LEDs. That's kind of a pain in the ass. But other than that, yeah, I can build another one, put another one together fairly easily. That's the point. So now I know how to take apart both these systems, etc., and do what I want to do with it. But all right, guys, click like, subscribe. See you guys next video. Again, this video is long, but it's usually how it is, man. Peace. Oh, I almost forgot the special thing I added. Yeah, the special thing I added. Because it's synced to the Xbox. We're gonna go to the Xbox channel right quick. All right, and I forgot that we gotta turn the console on. And bam! That's red. That's red, right? It's usually white. It could be any color I want. In this case, I made it red. Yeah, that's red. Coming soon to console.